Hi guys, welcome to this live session. It's been a while, guys. So I'm gonna give it a few minutes for people to join me. I see two people there. Type your name there and tell me who you are and where you're watching me from. And I will acknowledge you here in a little bit. Going to acknowledge you here in a little bit. I see those thumbs up. If you're watching me on Facebook, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel at Charities Bubble USA. I'm gonna give it 4 minutes, guys. 4 people. Yeah, so if you're watching me on Facebook, kindly tune in to my YouTube channel at Charities Bubble USA and kindly consider subscribing. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. It is 12:01 p.m. It's 12:01 p.m. I am gonna give it few minutes. 4 people there. So I see some people there have started joining me. 7 people. Type your name there. Tell me where you are watching me from. And I am going to acknowledge you here in a little bit. Today I am live on Facebook at Charity Nganga. I'm also live on Facebook at Charities Bubble fan page. And I am live on Facebook, on YouTube, on my YouTube channel at Charities Bubble USA. It's a special occasion. You know, when I go live on both three of my pages, that means that it's a special occasion. I say people are there. If you're watching me from Facebook, kindly consider subscribing to my YouTube channel so that you can get more, because I normally like to come on YouTube. 16 people, guys. Thank you for joining me. 12:02 p.m. We're going to start here in 4 minutes and see what we have. What do we need to talk about? I think we need to talk about a while. So many things, guys. There's so many things that we need to talk about. I haven't been live for the last 2 weeks, guys. But it is beyond, what do I call it? Unavoidable circumstances, due to unavoidable circumstances. But I am here, and I thank you for continually watching my videos. I've still been coming on, bringing videos, even if I haven't done a live show. But now we have to start being more active on these live shows. 12:02 p.m. I see people are coming on. I'm going to acknowledge people here in a little bit. I'm going to give it 1 more minute. I have a cold, guys. I'm going to give it 1 more minute, and then I am going to acknowledge some people. So, guys, if you haven't subscribed, if you're watching me on Facebook, kindly consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I see those thumbs up. I love those thumbs up, guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this live show. Today, if you have a question, type it there. We're going to talk about it. That's how we roll. We talk about questions. We'll talk about the DV lottery. We'll talk about the DV lottery here in a little bit. 12:03 p.m. here in the USA. Here in the US, guys. Thank you for always coming. There's so many messages there that I am going to acknowledge here in a little bit. I like to give it 4 minutes. 19 people watching me, guys. If you haven't given my video a thumbs up, please consider giving it clicking that button for the thumbs up, guys. I really do appreciate. 12:04 p.m. My name is Charity Nganga. This is Charities Bubble USA, your #1 channel. I'm here. Today we are going to talk about the DV lottery. We are anticipating. The anticipation is high. We're going to check our results on Saturday, the 7th. May the 7th is going to be next Saturday, and I know people are eagerly waiting. So let me acknowledge our people here. So I have Kabagala Heman. We are waiting for you, Ma'am Charity. Thank you for always being there and joining me. Mary Musuya tuned in from Nairobi. Mary, if you want to cross over to my YouTube channel and subscribe, I would really, really appreciate that. Mary Maake, hi Charity, we are here. Thank you for joining me. Dixon Magongo, Kilifi, Kenya, thank you for joining me this afternoon. Sarah Miranda, my good friend there. Thank you for joining me. Zipporah W. This is a member of Charities Bubble. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Elizabeth Mbogwa. Hi, Charity. Can't wait for Saturday to know my fate with the DV, but I'm ready for either outcome, but hoping the best. Yes, it's good to hope. We live by hope, guys. Hello, Charity. Moirori Chege, thank you for joining me. Hello, Charity. Happy to see you. That is Jerry Minor. Zipporah is saying, watching from Nairobi, waiting patiently with great faith for the selection of DV 2023. I wish you all the best, Zipporah. Jacqueline McKenna Gitonga, hello, Charity. Thank you for joining me. Nancy Njoki, David Ngede, thank you. Samuel Karaoke, thank you for joining me. Nancy Njoki, thank you for joining me. I see 24 people. Guys, give my video a thumbs up. I'm right here with you, Amos Zax, Jacqueline McKenna Gitonga, Amos Zax, Maelo Sharif Opanin Thomas, only one Chege, and Wamboi Grace. Thank you guys for joining me. Now, today is the 30th. We only have a few days. Hello, Charity. Thank you for coming. We've been waiting for you, guys. I know I've been so busy, guys. I told you I went to school, and you know when you go to school and you're a parent, it's just crazy, and stuff just happens, and I have to maneuver my kids and all that. But I'm here, guys, and I'm closing school next. No, when is it? Close to next week, but it's gonna be on next week on Monday. So I'm gonna be proactive now because we have 3 months of summer. And those 3 months, we're gonna talk about DV, we're gonna talk about everything. So the DV lottery is gonna be here on the 7th. But we have to face the facts. I always tell you guys that we have to face the facts about the DV lottery because I know so many people did apply for the DV lottery. We have to hope for the best because we live by hope. But at the same time, it's good to know that this is a lottery. It's a lottery, and you might get it and you might not get it. So when it comes on the 7th, guys, when you check your DV lottery results, whether you have won or you have not won, don't let that change your life, guys. Do not let that change your life. You have to move on beyond it, and you have to be able to wait for the other time that we are going to apply for the DV lottery that is in October. That's very important. I like to talk about that. I like to remind you all the time that it's a DV lottery. But at the same time, I still like to give you hope because I told you that I applied for my DV lottery only once and I got it. And actually, prior to that, I had not much information about it, but I got it. So that's why we say it's good to hope, but at the same time, you cannot put all your eggs in one basket and maybe think that your life is going to be over if you do not win the DV lottery on Saturday, because some people are going to win and some people are not going to win. So let's talk about why some people are going to win and others are not going to win. I've been reading the visa bulletin, and the visa bulletin says 55,000 visas. The one that I read last was saying 5,480. So in that number, you find that only a few people get it. So it's I would say like 1 in 2 people or 3 people will get the DV lottery, but that doesn't stop you from reapplying, and that doesn't stop you from trying other ways that you can come to the US, guys, because like I tell you that everybody can win, anybody can win. So the only thing that you have to have is hope. It's hope. So I'm still gonna be here and we're gonna talk about that. So let's see what this one is saying. Kevin Ogemba, hello Charity, I'm tuning from Rorakam. Desmond Kaposwa, good afternoon, Hiambam Charity, your friend Desmond from Sierra Leone. I have gone for my interview, it was successful. Waiting for my visa now. Congratulations. I wish you all the best, Desmond. Thanks for helping me through this journey. And you know, I'm glad that I am here to talk about it because it's important to know about these things. It is important to know where to get the information from, because when you know where to get the information from, when you go to travel.state.gov, there is a ton of information that you can read about these visas, of which you find that some people normally do not know about it. So that's why I like to talk about it. and I like to answer the questions to my best. I know my voice sounds strange, but I have a cold, but we're going to get through this. Okay, talk about pros and cons for families housing in regards to apartment and standalone. So I don't know what's a standalone, but what I can say is that when you come here with a DV lottery, you find that you will need housing, but the first place that you will go to is to your host. And I always talk about the host because the host is a determining factor when you win your DV lottery, because that is the person who is going to hold your hand and show you where the store is. The person who is going to hold your hand and show you this is where you can go for driving, or this is where you're going to go get your driver's license, or this is how you can go to a restaurant and order some food. You really need that host. So after you have been hosted, you are not gonna go and buy a house as soon as you come in here, because so many factors play in when you want to buy a home, because you have to have a job, you have to have a credit history, you have to have so many things, unless you have a lot of money and you want to buy your house by cash. So you find that you will have to rent an apartment. In whatever circumstances, you will have to rent an apartment. So you will decide on where you want to rent an apartment. And what I can say is that when you're renting an apartment, of course, you'll have to have a job. That is the first thing that they require you to have. And you will not have credit. Credit means your history, how you have been taking some debts and how you have been paying them. That is what is called like credit, because when you come here, you'll have something like a credit card. When you go to open a bank account, they'll give you a credit card, maybe like for $500, whereby you can be using it to fuel your car. You can be using it in so many things, and then you have to pay that money back. You find that you will not have so much of that, because we say that when you are being hosted, you are not going to stay with your host for a long time. Come with the mindset that when you come in, you are going to get your papers in order, because a DV lottery, you are guaranteed that when you come in here, you'll go get your driver's license, you'll apply for your social and all that stuff, and you'll get your green card. And then you start thinking of how you're going to get an apartment after you get a job. And that's why I said you will get like a low paying job, but still it's going to be able to help you to pay for your apartment. So where you choose your apartment, you can go, it goes of your host can advise you, this is a good place, this is a bad place, or whatever. So it depends on where you go. But you find that the apartments, when you go to rent them, they are fairly very safe. They are fairly very safe. I'm not going to say that we do not have bad people who exist in this world. You know, bad people are everywhere. But at the same time, when you're going to get an apartment, they ensure that all the safety is in place. So what I can say, and I didn't understand very well when you talked about standing alone, but the first junction you'll have to do, or the first thing that you'll have to do, is to get an apartment for your family members, so that you can have a place to start off. You can have a place to start off. Of course, you will need a car if you go to a state, like if you come to a place like Kansas, you need a car to take you from point A to point B, because your host is not gonna, you're not gonna be on the back of your host like forever. So you can decide, like, you're gonna get like a very cheap car that is gonna take you from point A to point B, just for a start. So I hope that I am able to answer your question. And if you wanted to know more, because I don't understand when you're talking about the standing alone, but the apartments here are very, very safe. Lucy Rutino, hi Charity, it's good to see you. Jacqueline Mawamba, thank you for joining me. Anwar Rimo, thank you for joining me. And yeah, so let me read. So this one is saying they have gotten whatever. So if you have a question, please type it there. So I was talking about the DV lottery, and I was saying that not all of us are going to get it, but please do not be discouraged. I don't want you guys to be discouraged. I want you to check. If you have won, I'm going to be here live that day. If you have won, it's okay. Then we are going to go to processing. Now, I have heard this question that has been asked by so many people. They've been texting me and asking me about a host. I told you guys to start networking. It's good to start networking, because you find that when someone is hosting you, now things have changed. Because when we were coming in, when someone was supposed to host you, they were only required to send you their address. But right now things have changed, because the person will have to send you a W-2, and they will have to send you another form called a Form I-35. And you find that you have like to be, what can I say? You have, that person has to trust you very much for them to give you that information. So it's good to start networking. It's very, very good to start networking earlier right now. But I want to like dwell so much on that with the people who are going to get the DV lottery, because they will really, 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 really be in need of a host. Now, Nancy Jerry is saying, so there is Melanin Kada there. Thank you for joining me. Nancy Njoki is saying nyumba iko in its own compound. A guest no sharing an apartment. Oh yeah, a house it has its own compound, and even your apartment, it has a little compound whereby when you go out, it's just a little backyard that has been fenced. There is always privacy, but you find that that one will be at the back of your house. Even if you're living upstairs, there's a little space that they have left there that you can go and sit outside there. So it's not like the houses like that are in one line and there is nothing. You find that you can find that the doors are close together, but at the back of the house, there's a little space that they have put for you, whereby you have that privacy, and they have fenced it out for you. So there's always that. So even if you're living in an apartment, maybe the doors are close together, but at the back they leave you some space, because here it's all about privacy. It's all about like that personal space. So, but it's okay to be in apartment. That is where you start, and then later, after maybe you have gotten a good job or maybe you have settled, then you are able to buy a house. You see what I mean? So it doesn't matter, and you can even decide you don't want to go to an apartment. You can rent a house. Like a house by itself, you can rent a house and live there. So it all depends on your taste and whatever that you want, because there is everything. I normally tell you guys like that here in the US is how much you work hard, is how much you get good things. So so that's good. Okay. Christine, let me see. Oh my gosh, the messages are so many. Okay. The African, you have an amazing content. My mom and I watch you every time. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for that. The African. Charity, is it true that married couples have a higher chance of winning the DV lottery? Now, this one I would say no, because a DV lottery is like the way you go and do like a lottery for money, you know, whereby you go and you maybe put a little bit of money and then you win or you do not win. It's a lottery, guys. This thing is computer selected. It's selected by the computer. So you cannot say that because you're married that you will win. No, because it is not an individual who selects the DV lottery. It is something that is computer generated. So it doesn't matter. What I can say is that a couple can have a higher chance of winning if the wife applies and puts the husband and the kids, and then the husband applies and puts the the wife and the kids as the derivatives. Now that can give your household a higher chance of winning. That's the only thing. But you cannot say that because we are married that we are going to get a high chance. No, there is nothing like that. There is nothing like that. Okay. Christine Danyi, hi Charity. I've been looking forward hearing from you. Thanks a lot and hope for the best. Thank you for joining me. I see that is 6 people are live watching me. Guys, please give my video a thumbs up. And when you look at my numbers, I'm almost to 4,000 subscribers. I think I'm remaining like how many? Like less than 20. So guys, please support my channel by subscribing. So if you're watching me on Facebook, kindly consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. All right, let's see. Keifa Katorana is saying, keep up the good work. All right, hello Charity. I have a question concerning marriage date during filling of the DS-260 form. If I'm married through customary, is it okay to fill the date that we started living together? Yes, that is the date that you fill out. You find that our African way is a little bit different. Now here, when people get married, they go and get married and get the certificate, and then you change your name and all that. But you find that the African way, we have to be married customary, because before you go to do the white wedding, there are some things that are involved. You have to go and pay the bride price and all that. which is okay. It's our custom. We cannot change our customs. But the day that you have been living together with that person is the one that you will put on your DS-260. And that's what we did. That's what we did. The time that we got married, that is the date that we got married, but it was a little bit different from the date that we got our marriage certificate, because we went, excuse me, we went for our marriage certificate after we had won the DV lottery, of which most people are going to do that. Most people are going to do that. The only bad thing is if you find out that you have won on Saturday and you have been boyfriend and girlfriend, and then you decide to go and do a wedding at that time, you cannot add people. You cannot add people. So if you had applied as single, just go as single. Because if you put someone in your DS-260 that you're married, and you had applied as single after, that is after you have won, then they will see that there's a motive over there. So you should just go as single. But you find that when you're putting on your DS-260, put the time that you got married, because that is when that you got married. And even if they ask for evidence, you have kids, you have kids, and they don't go beyond that. When you are upfront and you give the right information, they do not go digging, And at the same time, like I told you, is that when you go for your interview, please do not volunteer information, because that is a weakness with us Africans, whereby when you are asked something, instead of answering what you have been asked, we tend to add. And I don't know why we tend to do that. For example, someone is asking you, where do you live? So instead of telling, so if someone asked me where I lived, I would say that I live in Wichita, Kansas, and that's it. But do not add that I live in Wichita, Kansas, and I've been there for 5 years, because that is adding information. You see what I mean? So whatever that you are being asked, and you find that the DV lottery doesn't have so many questions. If you have submitted your documents correctly, if you have submitted maybe your transcripts correctly, and right now I know there is a verification. They have to verify from the neck or whatever. So when you have submitted everything, you find that when you go there, they don't have so many questions. If everything is in order, they will not ask you so many questions. I told you guys, we were only asked 3 questions, and that was it. Our interview with our consular only lasted less than 5 minutes. We were done. So if you do your things in order, and how do you do your things in order? You follow the instructions. Because the people who will be selected on Saturday, that notification, that first notification when you check, and remember, you must have your confirmation number. I told you to keep your confirmation number very safely, because that's a key to open and see if you have been selected. There are instructions there. Please read those instructions, because those are very important. When you follow those instructions and you do what they have requested you, then you are not going to whatever. You are not going to have any difficulty. You will have a very, very smooth sailing. So it's very, very, very important for you to have that. Okay. And if I go for the marriage certificate, which date should I indicate in it? Of course, your marriage certificate is going to be current. It's going to be current. It's like when you go for a birth certificate, like most people do not have a birth certificate. So if you go for a birth certificate, of course, it will have the date that you were born, but the date that it was issued will be current. So the issue date on your marriage certificate is going to be the current one. It's not going to be like if you got married 20 years ago or whatever. No, the issue date is going to be current, but the time that you got married is going to be different, because that's when you got married. You see what I mean? So you cannot change the date of issue, but the time that you got married, that's fine. But your marriage certificate is going to be a current one. And it doesn't matter, guys. Even even the people there in the American embassy, it's diverse. They know that there's diversity, and that's why it's called a diversity visa. And everybody is coming in with their own customs. Everybody is coming in with what they have. So you cannot change how you are because of the DV lottery. Because if you got married 20 years ago and you have been living as a family, you are married. That's a customary marriage. It's even recognized by the laws in Africa. So do not worry. The only thing that you need to have is that legal paper to show that you are married. The bad thing is that Maybe you applied for you, and of course, when you did your application, you had applied that you are married. So what you need is just something valid to show that indeed that marriage is a legal one. Now, the bad thing is I am single. I have never been married. And I have won my DV lottery. And then I decide after Saturday, we are going to do a wedding and I am going to fill out my DS 260 as I am married. Now that's a problem because you should not add. And I remember reading for you the instructions when we were doing at the DV lottery. And we are going to go through them after. We are going to go through them after you guys have won and see. All right. Okay, asking for the 55,000 include the derivatives. No, it doesn't. It doesn't include the derivatives. What is a derivative? Now, I have applied my DV lottery, right? I have won. Now, that is one visa. Now, that visa includes all my family members, and that is why they are called derivatives. Because it is only, even if you have a family of 10, it's only one visa. It is not 10 visas. It's only one. So the person who has won is called the primary applicant, and the family members, the husband and the children, the stepchildren or whatever, they are called derivatives. So this 55,000 does not include the derivatives. No, it only includes only the primary applicant. So I hope that you have gotten that one. Now, Sekasia Nicholas is asking, excuse me, oh, Robert, it's true you feel the date you started living together. Customary marriage is recognized in your country, but you just need to certify it in case of dividend lottery. Yeah, because you got married. That's what we did. We just went. We had been married for a long time, so we just went and got our marriage certificate, and that was it. And then when they didn't even ask us about whatever they asked, I remember the only question that lady asked us was if you have been married to other people. That was it, and she didn't dwell on it. Our kids were there. And you find that even the kids are not interviewed, the minors are not interviewed, only the adults are interviewed. So that question about marriage, do not let it worry you so much. Don't let that worry you so much. As long as you are not including people there who should not be there. Because the people who should be there, the way you applied is how it should flow. I'd rather if I was single, and that temptation is very, very high. Excuse me. That temptation is very, very high, whereby you have seen that you have won. And then maybe you have a boyfriend and that boyfriend is pushing you, or that girlfriend is pushing you, oh, do not leave me, or whatever, add me there. Let us say that we are married. Now that's going to bring problems. But if you have been married, you're good to go. Do not like put it like an issue because it's not an issue. Okay. Okay, we are 3.98K. 2 more to get to 4K. Jerry Minor, thank you for that, guys. I really, really do appreciate my champions. Thank you for that. All right. Thanks for always educating us, Charity. God bless you abundantly. You are my role model. Just crossing my fingers. DVD outcome. Yeah, I wish you all the best, guys. I just wish you all the best. I can't wait for those people who are going to be selected. Okay. Nancy Jockey, I gave out cash to someone to get my birth certificate. Now I'm not sure if it is in government registry. Kindly advise Charity. Oh my gosh, who did you give your money? You know, it's good to go, I don't know, but I know it's different. And I've lived in the US now for close to 8 years. And I know like the way I think about things is a little bit different because when you come here, you change, but it is good, very, very good. Even if there are those shortcuts, it's always good to go to the registry and go and get your birth certificate. It might take a longer time, yes, but it's good because you don't know who you gave the money. Unless you know very well who you gave the money, you never know. You never know. And you find that some of these things you should not be giving someone money. Why not go in there and pay for it in the whatever that you're supposed to go and pay for it and get your birth certificate instead of paying someone? Because some people can be very dishonest. People can be very dishonest, and that's one. I think that's one of the things made me like open this new YouTube channel, because I remember when we won our DV lottery, there is this money that you have to pay for your green card after you have been given the visa. Now I remember we did not know like how to go through the process, and it's because we didn't have so much information. So I remember us being referred to this guy who was in town, And this guy was saying that he normally fills out the DV lottery for people and whatever. And we were supposed to go to him, and he was supposed to pay that money for us. But then when we went, I remember we just stopped in our tracks. We were like, why are we trusting this person? We are going to wait and maybe go to the bank and have the bank pay that money for us. Because at that time, we didn't understand so much about the credit cards. We didn't understand so much about the debit cards. Actually, we just looked at that guy. We were like, no, we are not going to trust this man. And I think it's always good to follow your instinct. If someone is asking you for money and they are not in an office, and it's not money that you're getting a receipt to show that you paid for it in a government office, why should you give someone money? I don't think you should. So it's always good, because you, and that's why I do my whatever, my DV stuff here, because I know you can listen, and if you really need to know more, you go to the source, go to travel.state.gov and read. The same case, wherever you are, the country that you are in, because I talk to many people in many countries. Do not trust anybody because they are telling you, oh, I work in this office, I am going to get you the birth certificate. No, take yourself there and ask for the process. And then they will tell you, of course, you will have to pay a fee, but you have a receipt that shows that you paid for your birth certificate, and they tell you that this is how it's going to be delivered. So it's always good to do that. Now you'll have to go and verify. That one you have to do a verification. Okay. Oh, Robert, thanks for the elaborate explanation on marriage dates and certificates. Sekaya Nicholas is called now you can go and check with the body that gives it if it's genuine. Yeah, it's good to go and verify. Verification is very important because you do not want to take fake documents in the embassy. You don't want to. You want to take something that is genuine, okay? Genuine stuff. So instead of relying on people, it's always good to go to the source, because I know those sources are there, and go do it for yourself, okay? Okay, Madam Charity, this is Desmond. I agree with you. DV interview is one of the simplest interview I have ever witnessed. What I discover is that your documents speak more for you. Yes, they do. And that's why they ask for that documentation, because that is what will speak for you. And of course, they verify that information. You're not just going to go and take a paper just like that. No. And that's why they even ask for something like a police clearance certificate. If you have lived in a different place for more than 6 months, you have to take that police clearance certificate, because it speaks out for you. And what they are doing here, when you come here to live in the US, you will understand it's like a background check. They want to know who you are. And that is the system that you will come to when you come to live here in the US. Because you find that if you are going to rent an apartment, they will do a background check on you. They will want to know, who is this person? But here it's a little bit easier because you have your social. And your social, like it tracks your life, like the way you have been. If you have done a bad thing, it's going to show up. Something even like going to school, even applying for a school, even for nursing school. Even me, and even living here and being a US citizen, for me to apply for nursing school, they have to know who you are. So they have to do a background check. So those documents, when you take them there for your interview, they are trying to give them an overview of who is this person, what have they done, and that is why you find that there are those things that will make them not give you the visa, even if you have won. If you have done bad things, if you're on drugs, if you are a child trafficker, they are not going to give you all that. So if you have your documents in order, you're good to go. Now, Grace Naftali is asking how to apply for the DV lottery. Now, Grace, and go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. It will come in October, and when it comes in October, I'm going to talk about it extensively, and you're going to understand the same thing that I did with DV 2023, and we'll walk through it until we get there. Okay. What time is appropriate to apply for certificate of good conduct? After DV results, given the period taken to get to the interview, just apply it. When you're selected, you can do your application for the certificate of good conduct, because those instructions will be like you will need it. You will need it. So don't worry so much about it, but make sure that it's not sold. Make sure that it's not sold. So after you win your DV lottery, maybe you on Saturday, then within that time, because they won't start processing your DV lottery like immediately after we have checked in May, now you are expecting to get your second notification letter. No, because DV 2022 has not ended yet. Because I told you their fiscal year ends on September 30th. So after September 30th is when DV 2022 will be closed. And then they will start DV 2023. So you still have time. You still have time to do the application for the whatever, for the certificate of good conduct. All right. Irene Sang is saying about marriage. What if I got married after I had applied as single and now I'm married? As long as what I say is that as long as you do not add a person after you're married. But if you had applied as single, for me, what I would do is that if I had applied as single, I would just go as single. That's what I would do. But the worst thing, because life has to go on, you can tell them about your change of life. This is what happened. But you cannot tell them about your change of life after you have won the DV lottery. Now that one is not going to work for you, because that one is going to show like you have an interest that you're adding people of which you should not add people. And they're very sensitive about fake marriages, because people, not everybody is honest. There's some people who are very honest, but at the same time there's some people who want to go there because of the benefit, and they know that. So if they suspect that is the case, then they are not going to give you the visa. So it's always good to be on the safe side. So let's assume that you applied in May and you got married in June. No, you applied in October and you got married in November. Then you can notify them about the change of life before you even do all your things. And they are very good if you email them and you put your case number, because when you're doing your emails, you have to put your case number so that they can be able to reply. Then you get information from them. It's important for you to do that. Okay. Aliyah Leah Hassan, oh, thanks for the good information, Madam Charity. Is it possible for me to fill out DS-260 form minus my children's passport numbers, because they are to follow me later? Now, the DS-260, you have to fill out for your kids too, because they are your derivatives. You find that the DV lottery does not, it's like, what I can say, it's like a tree. You as the person who has won the DV, you are the tree. And then your derivatives are the branches. So you have to fill out the DS-260 for all of them. And then you will indicate that they will travel later with you, because that's where you give the information. So there is no way that you will do for yourself and then you will not fill out the DS-260 for your kids, and then you want to do it later. That it doesn't work, because they are your derivatives. They are benefiting from what you got. So it's a collective thing. So you have to include them. But there's a question that they ask you there, and you are going to see it when you go to fill out the DS-260, is that if you're going to travel later, or you're going to travel when you're going to travel. And you find that even after you have gotten the visa, they only give you 6 months. After 6 months, you find that everybody who is your derivative has to have traveled to come to the US. So you cannot divide. You cannot divide. Okay. Grace Naftali, thanks, dear. I will appreciate much. I have the passport already. I will keep in touch. Thanks. Say hi to your family. Thank you for that. Okay. Madam, after checking that I was selected, can I first get a host before filling my DS-260 in order to be sure of the location where my green card will be mailed, or first file the DS-260 form? Now, the DS-260 asks you about your host. So you have to have the information about your host there. And don't worry so much about where your green card will be mailed, because the first thing that you require after you win your DV lottery is a host. Now, when you go, and now their systems are very and their systems are very they're very clean, is that if I am the host, let's assume I'm hosting someone, and that person will live in my house. If they will send the green card, they will send it where I am living. Okay. But if you go to someone's house and maybe you stay for a month, or maybe you stay for a short time and you move out, then when you move out to a different address, you always have to go and report to the post office of your change of address. So even if you come here in Kansas and you stay with me, and then you decide that you're going to move out and go maybe to another state or whatever, whatever you decide, you find that the first thing that you do is to notify the post office. First of all, they hold your letters and then they send them to your address, the one that you're moving to. So your documents are not going to get lost. They will not get lost. So when you're coming in, first of all, think about the host. Don't even worry about the green card. And then when you come here, if you're at your host, it's going to come at your host's house. If you're not at your host's house, because you have to report when you have moved out about your change of address, then they will forward it to your new address. That's easy. That's just very, very easy. Okay. Okay. About 55,000. Some people are saying the derivative. No, they are not included. They are not. They are not included. When you win your visa, that is one visa. And if you have a family, it covers the whole family. The derivatives are not included. Now go to travel.state.gov and read that information, because you have to be clear on this. And that's why they are called a derivative, because they are benefiting from your visa, the one that you got as a primary applicant. So the derivatives are not. They're not counted in that 55,000. No, they're not. That is incorrect. Okay. All right, Nathan Ontegi. Hello, Charity. I have a family of 5 people. That result is around the corner, but I'm afraid of applying for the passport because I'm not sure whether I'm going to be selected. Kenya life is unbearable. Nathan, what I can tell you is that you can wait until you're selected and then do the application of the passports, because they are not going to start sending you the 2NLs like immediately after May 7. No, they have to wait until they are done with the DV 2022. And the DV 2022 will end on September 30th. So do not. It's like counting your chicks before they hatch. If you have not been selected, first of all, don't think about the passport. But as soon as you're selected, it's good to now think about the passport. That's what I would do, because you don't want to go and start applying. It's still money, it's still money. And at this time, inflation is so bad right now. That war in those Russians, like for them fighting Ukraine and all that, everything has gone high. Everything is high. So you don't wanna, if you don't have all that money, then you don't wanna go and apply if you have not been selected. But as soon as you are selected, make sure that you go and get passports for your kids, because they will need them. They will need those passports. Okay, Nancy Jockey, thanks for the clarification. Yeah, the derivatives, they are not included in that 55,000. Go read in travel.state.gov and come here and challenge me, because I like to say what I know. Okay, now, how do you find a host when you know no one in US? Dixon Magongo, I told you guys to start networking. It's very, very, very important to start networking. And of course, you can reach out to people. There are some people who are very, very, very kind. Not everybody is kind. There are some people who are very, very kind, and they are always out there to help out. The thing I normally tell you is that I can host people, but I cannot host everybody, because you find that they look at they normally look at they know this person has hosted this one, this person has hosted this one. So you find that you cannot be able to host like 10 people at the same time. You won't be able to. But you find that people, like when you win and someone is in the US, there are some people who are very kind and they can help. They can help you. Just reach out, and then we can see if you can find someone. Because a DV lottery, I normally tell you that a DV lottery is not is different from the other visas. Because when you come with a DV lottery, you have the guarantee that you will get a job, and that person who is hosting you has the guarantee that you're not going to be a burden to them, because you have your right papers. You have come here legally. So to get a host is not going to be so hard. Just wait until you get your DV, you have been selected, and then we'll go from there. You see what I mean? All right, Edith, my friend here. Hi, Charity. What happens if I get a visa via green card and I have a child who has done class 8, and then we travel on January 2023? Will he join grade 9 or grade 8? Now, what happened, and I'm going to talk about my son here. When I was coming in, my son was in class 8. And the school year in Kenya was starting in January, and we came here in May. But here the school year starts in August. So what I did is that he just, when they opened school, he just went to class 8. He went to class 8. He did not go to high school because he had not already gone to high school. So if you come in, let's assume you'll come in next year from May or from June, and the school will be starting in August. For me, I would take them to that class that they were, the class 8, so that they can get accustomed to the system, because they are starting over, and it's different, guys. It's very, very different. And then they can go from there. So they are not going, you cannot, if they were in class 8, of course, when you're coming in, they wouldn't have finished their school year, because here the school year starts in August. So what I would do, if they were in class 8, I would come with them and they would go to class 8. They would start class 8 and then they would go to high school the following year. That's what I would do. And that's what I did with my son, because my son was in class 8 at that time. Okay. Reverend Ontegi, thank you for that great advice. Queen Collector, can I benefit from my son's passport? What do you mean, benefiting from your son's passport? Maybe you can clarify more about that one. Advice for large families: try to apply for passport in bits, like 1 or 2 at a time. Doing all that at the same time can be strenuous. Yeah, it can be. And if you know, what I say is that it doesn't matter whether you will be selected or you will not be selected. If you have that hope that you're applying for the DV lottery and you will be selected one time, it's good to have passports. It's good to have passports. But after you have been selected, it's a must that everybody will have a passport. Even a little baby that has been born, they need a passport. But if you're walking this journey, we walk by faith. Just get one by one, like Zipporah is saying, and that would be help. It's not going to be like so strenuous for you. Okay. Let Lovely is saying, make friends on social media that will benefit you. Yeah, friends with benefits. I normally talk about friends with benefits. Look for those friends who can benefit, because not everybody is bad. For me, I cannot sit here and tell you that I am going to look for someone who you have to pay for them to host you. No, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to say is that friendships, look for people who can benefit, because there are good people who exist. There are good people who exist. Even there are some people who hear the stories of people being hosted and the people have bailed out, and they're like, why didn't they reach out? Why didn't they reach out? Because I believe that there are some people out there who can help you with that being a host. Okay. Ayla Leila, thanks for the clarification. If my derivatives are to follow me later, am I supposed to go with them the day of my interview? Yeah. Yes, you're supposed to go with them on the day of the interview, and then they can receive their whatever their passports later. Because this is one thing, it doesn't get separated, guys. It doesn't get separated. Okay. This one is Victor. What if I get the green card and I did capture my wife and her son when I applying? What would I do to go with them? Now, Victor, if you had listened to my previous videos when you were doing the DV lottery, the instructions say that if you have a family, include them. If you have kids, include them. If you have stepchildren, include them. And I kept saying, guys, that everybody deserves a chance or a space in the dining table, because I meant what I said. Because there is no way that you applied by yourself and you win, and now you want to say that you want to put your wife there and your children there. They are not going to give it to you, because you are not honest. This thing, it's honesty from the beginning. If you are married, put your wife there, put your kids there. If you have step kids, if you have adopted kids, legally ones, include them there, and then you won't have a problem of adding. Because he's saying, I didn't capture my wife and son when I was applying. What would I do to go with them? You will do nothing. You will go by yourself. And then after you have stayed, then you will petition for them. Then it's going to take a longer time. It's going to take a longer time, but you can do that. But do not add them if you did not put them there. And if you did not put them there, then you are dishonest. If they find out that you want to leave your family back behind and you didn't put them there, and the instructions, they say that failing to include your legally your children or whatever might lead you to be denied the visa. Because that's something that I've talked about all the time. Because you find that in the past, like a man would apply and then they would leave their wife. I know some people who have done, and it makes me feel bad, because you have applied for the DV lottery, right? and you have said that you are single, and then you come and live here in the US, and you see like it's going to take time. It's not going to be one day that you're going to bring them here. No, it's going to take time. And then you find that some men come and forget. They forget, or women, they come and forget. They forget that they had family members. They forget that they had kids, and they come and start a new life here. I've seen people do that, which is very sad, because you have come here, you have a good opportunity. Your kids would have had a good opportunity. Your wife would have a good opportunity, or your husband, and now you have left them, and you want to start easy, afresh. You want to marry other people and leave them behind. No, it's wrong. And that is why I think they say that if they find out that you're living in a family, or you did not include your family members, you will not get it. Because it's always good to be honest. If you get married, then always try to include your family in whatever that you're doing. Because it's a family setting. What I say is that let's assume like, so when we applied for a DV lottery, if I had won by myself, and maybe I hadn't put my husband there and my kids there, like I would be so guilty, because I remember at one time, and I told you that we had this challenge of a host, because our host bailed out on us. He refused to host us. We had already gotten the visa, and when my husband called him, he said, "Oh, I didn't know that you would get all of you, and I am not able to host you." You know, and I remember when we got our visa, we started selling everything. So he said no, he wasn't going to host us. I remember him making a suggestion, saying, because Charity is she's the main one. She's the one who won it. Let her come by herself and leave you behind and the kids, and then you can come later. I said no, I couldn't. There is no way that I could leave my husband behind and my children behind and come to like an unknown land by myself. And that is the same thing that you should do. That's the spirit that you should have when you are applying for the DV lottery. Do not leave your family members behind. Like for me, it just makes me sad when I see people, they have come here and then you just pretend that you are not married, and you don't even pick up the phone for your family members. It happens. It does happen. And you want to start a new life. That is wrong. So, Victor, I hope that you did not do that, because if you did that, and they find out that you have a family that you want to leave behind, or right now you want to add them, and you had said that you are single, then you will not get it. It's what it is. It's good to talk. It's good to talk the truth. That's how it is. So the next time you do the application, put your family there. Doesn't matter. Just put them there. Okay, thanks, and be well, Charity. We need your voice. Thank you for that. Okay, Maria Marubu is asking, hi Charity, kindly advise on universities, whether free or not, when someone wins a green card. Now, they are not, I wouldn't say that they are free. What I would say is that when you do the application to go for a university and you are a permanent resident, you get a grant. But you find that the grant sometimes is not enough for you to maneuver through your school. So you find that you will get the grant and you will pay some of it, but you will have to get a student loan. And then after you get your student loan, after you're done with school, then you will be making payment, but it is not free. But when you come in here, you can still apply for scholarships. There are many you can do application for scholarships, which really help. But it's not entirely free. It's not free. It's not free, but you still get help because the grant money that you get is free of charge. And then maybe you can get scholarships here and there. You can even decide that you do not want to, you don't want to take a student loan or that. You go and get hired in a company that pays, they reimburse or they pay school fees for you, but you have to be working for them. There's some people who have gone to school through that, whereby you work in a certain organization and then they normally have a way of giving back to their employees. So when you're working for them, they will pay for your tuition fees. And that's very easy because by the time you're done with your degree or whatever, you will be good. You won't have any debts or whatever. So it depends on what you want, but all those things are there. And when you come here, you decide on what you want to do. Okay. Nathan is saying, Charity, please give us a clarity in this issue whereby you find a family has some members in US and can't afford to sponsor some of us who are depending on DV. Why is it impossible for them? It is not impossible. I would say like if someone doesn't have the right, it's not in the right status. Like they don't have the right documents, they might not be able to host you. Like they will not be able to host you. That's for sure, because you need a W-2, you need the Form I-35 I-34, yes, I-34, and you find that they don't have that documentation. But what anybody can host you if they're legally here in the US, because what they need to give out is just their tax form and that form to show that they're able to support you. And you find that they're not even supporting you like forever. It's just a bridge for you to be able to come in here and start your life. So maybe you'll stay with that person for 3 weeks, 1 month, and then you're out because you are able to. This is not the time that people were hosted for a whole year. No, this is not the time that you are hosted and you come in and you want to live in someone's house and the first thing that you want to do is go for vacation or go to every state to visit people. No, this is the time that when you come with the DV lottery, you come on the terms that you're coming, you're getting a job. If you want to live with your host, then you have to help with the bills because bills have to be paid. If you come with that mindset, you find that it's going to be very easy to find any host. As we were hosted by a single man, he was just a single guy. He didn't even have a family, and we were a family of 4, and he was able to host us. So I know anybody can host you, but it all depends on your mindset. It all depends on your mindset. Like when you go to the US, are you going for vacation? Or when you go to the US, are you going to start a new life? You know that in your mind, you have prepared that you're starting from zero and you have to start working yourself up. That's going to be helpful. But if you come in and maybe you find, and it all depends on the type of host that you land on, because you'll find a host who likes life, and life here is, I'm telling you, like here in the US, you decide either a good thing or a bad thing. You can decide to follow the right channel or to follow the wrong channel. Because here, like something like what can I say, like having life, like drinking, all that, you can decide that that's the route that you want to take. You can decide that you've come here to party. You can decide that you have come here to go and be visiting friends and all that. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but it's choices that people make. So the choices that you decided to make are what will determine. Because I know anybody who has the right papers, they can host you, but when you're hosted, then how do you take that hosting? Do you want to go and live off of someone's sweat, or do you want to go there and stay for a few weeks and after you get your job, you're out? So that's how I can say. But I believe that everybody who is legally here, they can host you. So can I be a derivative for my son visa? No, you cannot, Coletta. You cannot be a derivative for your son, but your son can be derivative because your son is your dependent. But they cannot include you as a mother. What they can do, they can come here, become permanent residents, and then they can petition for you as a parent. They can do that. They can petition for you as a parent, and I have done a video on that. And when you're permanent resident, it takes longer. But when you're a citizen, it takes the time that you're supposed to, the normal time. It's not going to be extended when you're a citizen. So the only way that you can benefit from your son or your child being a permanent resident is if they want to petition for you as a parent. That is done. You can even petition for your siblings, but it takes a longer time for siblings. But for parents, it takes a shorter time. So if you mean that your son has won the DV lottery and they can include there as a parent, no, that one they cannot do. But when they come and live here, then they can petition for you as a parent, and you go through the process and you become a legal permanent resident. And they can also invite you to come and visit the US. And I always like to leave that on the parent, because you find that when you want to petition for your parent, it's good to think hard about it. Number one, do not first of all petition for them. First of all, invite them. Invite them. And then when they come here, let them experience the life here. And then when they experience the life here, because this is a country that even if they have come to live, that they will have to work, then they will decide, are they able to embrace the American life? Some parents like it, others do not. So after they have lived with you, they have come, go, because they'll get a visa for 5 years, then they will decide whether they want to come and live here permanently. You can petition for them, or they want to stay at home and you can be helping them. Because it depends on, there's some people who come, they love this country, they want to live here. There's some people who come and they're like, sometimes it's hard because there are those aspects where, but there's not so much social life here. There's that loneliness, there's that you have to work. So you have to look at your parent and be like, maybe my mom is like 70 years old, 80 years old, or whatever. Are they going to be able to come and get into the workforce? You have to think about all those dynamics. And that's why I normally say it's good to give them a chance to come and visit and weigh themselves and see, do they want to come and live here permanently, or do they want to be coming here as visitors and then going back home. So it all depends on what you want to do, but you can do that. Okay, a family of 5, how do you feel the DS260 forms by one? We'll go through that for the people who have been selected. I'll do a show about the DV, whatever, the DS260. Okay. Hi, is it possible, this is Hosea Kibalizi, to just go and rent within the location I choose? I expect my green card to be paid without even getting a host. You must have a host when you're coming here, guys. Like, that's, you have to have a host. If you don't have a host, then where are you going? Like, how are you going to come here without a host? Because when you come here, you go to the airport, you need to be picked up by someone. You need to be, you know, even driving here is different. We drive on the other side of the hand. I don't know whether it's right or left. So we drive on there. Like, there are so many things that you need to be taught. So the first thing that you have to know, and that's a requirement for the DV, you must have a host. Like, that one is a must. And when you come here, do not worry about your green card being mailed. The mail doesn't get lost. And why it doesn't, let me tell you what happened to our green card. So we were supposed to go to California, and our person has refused. So when we came in, because we had already paid for the green cards, they were sent to California. And then when they were sent to California, that person had moved out. That person who was supposed to host us. So what happened is that when they were not taken, they were taken back to the mail. But we had when we came here to Wichita, we went and reported. We went and told them that this is our address. Because so when we did that, after some time, our green cards were sent to us. They came. They didn't get lost. So your stuff is not going to get lost. So what I would tell you, the first thing when you are selected for a DV lottery, think about the host. That's the main thing. After you get your host and you come here, because there is no way that your DV lottery is going to be mailed outside US. It's going to be here in the US. So wherever that you are, as long as you go to the post office and report, you will get your green card. So don't worry about that. Okay. You're such a darling, Madam Charity. I'm really satisfied with all the answers you're giving me. Thanks and blessings for your family. So thank you for that. Hello, Charity. Do international students get scholarships? Yes, they do, but I have to do like a video of that. It's a little bit different, but they still get them. But it's different, guys. It's different. It's very, very different. Lily, I saying hello there. Hi, Charity. I'm a DV 2023 applicant for the results. I'm glad to come across your channel. It's been very informative. Good job. So thank you for that. So guys, it's been 1 hour, 2 minutes, and we've talked about so many things. So like the main thing right now is waiting for the DV 2023, and of course for the people who have been waiting for the 2NLs for DV 2022, just keep on waiting, keep on hoping. If you are in the process, if you have received your 2NL, I told you that it's going to be current from June going onwards. So just wait for your 2NL. If you don't get selected, if you don't get your 2NL after the end of the fiscal year, you can always wait for the DV 2023. If you don't get selected for the DV 2023, you can still apply for next year. And also there are other ways that you can come in. You can have a friend who is graduating. They can invite you. You only need to go and maneuver your way in the American embassy and convince them that when you come here to visit, then you will go back home. And you can find your way coming here. So guys, it's been good. And I am going to finish with Ivan Lagarde says, good job, Charity. So it's been good, guys. And I will see you. I'll still produce more videos in the course of the week. But at the same time, let's wait on Saturday. I'll be here live waiting. Waiting for people who will win the DV lottery on that day. So I wish you all the best. Mine is just to wish you all the best. Continue with what you're doing. Work hard, because you have to work hard in whatever that you're doing, guys, and be safe. So God bless you, and I'll see you another time.